Hello everybody, and welcome to my 3,000 subscriber Q&A, which as you all know is very on time and punctual. I got a lot more questions this time than the 1K video, so let's get right to them, starting with the YouTube related questions. MC Atlas Dad asks why I wanted to start making YouTube videos in the first place. I don't really know when it started, but I've always wanted to make videos on YouTube for a long time. I guess it's probably one of the easiest ways to share something you made to millions of people for not too much time and effort. Country Bowl 6001 and Ishak ask about my current motivation for doing tutorials, and I'm still enjoying doing it. I won't be making them still if I didn't enjoy it because this is absolutely a completely optional thing to do. The Fifth Dimensional Tesseract and Tooligans 1953 ask what my favorite episode of the Subdivision series is, and I would absolutely have to say France. I think I really hated making it at the time actually, but now looking back at it, all the different subdivisions were so unique and interesting, and it just makes for a very interesting part of the map. Kazakhstan is also pretty high up there for the same reason. Kyle Jacob Gomez, 1771, and Tooligans 1953 again, ask if I'm going to complete the entire Subdivision series, and yeah, that's my goal. I obviously can't tell the future, but my current plans are absolutely to finish the series. Off of that, the Fifth Dimensional Tesseract and Bundun GD ask when I am planning to finish the series, and I'm sorry, but I literally have no idea. As you've seen recently, I have a lot more stuff going on in my real life, so my upload schedule has been a bit more sporadic, so it would be genuinely impossible to calculate when I'll be done. Ice Gaming 76 asks what the order for the rest of the Subdivision series will be, and that will most likely be the same order that I did the regular tutorials in, though there are definitely a couple changes I have planned, like doing Russia after China this time. Rashidun Minecraft asks if I will do any scales other than tiny and large, and from that I assume you only watched the shorts and haven't seen the 2 multi-year huge scale tutorials I've done in my long forms. But other than that, I don't really have any plans yet. I'm just going to go with the flow. Kyle Jacob Gomez, 1771, and Robbie Isfan Bader ask if I plan to do any medium scale tutorials, and I think probably not. MC Atlas sort of already has a monopoly on the medium scale market, and I don't really want to intrude. Gabe the Gamer 1912 asks if I'd make any videos on historical maps. I believe I was asked this question in the first Q&A, and I said I wouldn't, but since then I've actually become more interested in historical maps, so while I don't have any plans for the future yet, there is a higher chance I'll make some kind of historical map. Nene E6E and Oman Fin 123 ask if I will make the huge scale world have a bedrock download. I did actually attempt one back when I first made it. I hired MCPEMaps to try and get one working, but she said that the file was too big to work, and I personally have zero idea how I'd get it to work, so right now I'm kind of stuck and don't know what to do. Sorry. Zany Catug asks if my profile picture is me. Yes, it is me from back when I first started the channel around October of 2020. When I started gaining traction like 2024, I removed all the old videos with my face, but I thought the profile picture was too iconic to remove, so I just left it there. Kren Geography asks what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing geomapping in YouTube, and I honestly could not tell you. I've been doing YouTube for 5.5 years now and geomapping for over 2, so I could only assume something would be radically different, but it's too large of a time frame to really judge. To finish off the YouTube-related questions, Forminet asks what advice I would give myself when I was first doing this, and it would be to absolutely not upload as much as I was uploading. During the summer, I was uploading pretty much once a day to the point where I felt I had to tell people when I wasn't uploading for one day, and that made people, including myself, get a false expectation of how much I can upload, which eventually led to me temporarily quitting for a good part of last year. So I would tell myself to definitely get a more varied lifestyle probably and really balance out YouTube in my real life. Now let's get into the geography and geomapping related questions. The Fifth Dimensional Tesseract asks how I first became a fan of geography. I was bored in the pandemic, that eventually led to me finding the YouTube channels of Drew Durnall and Jack Sets of Geography, and it all spiraled from there. I don't watch either of them anymore, but they are the ones that sparked my geographical inspiration, so I still respect them. Oklahoma Mappings asks what brought me to geomapping specifically, and I think the answer for that, which is widely well known at this point, is Harold's tutorials, as you can probably tell by the fact that I credit him in the description of every video from the original series. I was bored and looking for multi-part building tutorials that would take me a while, and it took me to his channel. However, what brought me to the community specifically was MCPEMaps randomly reaching out to me asking for help using World Edit. Then I met Jacob and then everyone else. Zany Cathug asks what my favorite country is. Of the countries I visited, I would have to say Portugal, as everywhere I went has beautiful architecture, and the beaches of Nazaré specifically were incredibly beautiful. Aiden Does Geomapping asks what my favorite state is, by which I assume they mean US state. In that case, I would choose Vermont, because it's the state I've been to the most, but the environment is also incredibly beautiful. New Jersey Geomapping asks what my favorite county in the US or Canada is. In that case, I would absolutely have to go with Ochiltree County, Texas, primarily because of its incredible flag. Tooligans 1953 asks which country I think has the best nature, and as a completely unbiased party, I will have to say Canada. as there are so many different beautiful environments in all the provinces and territories. There are places like Banff, Niagara Falls, the Canadian Rockies, Vancouver Island, Jasper. You really can't go wrong. Kyle Jacob Gomez, 1771, asks what my favorite scale is. I definitely have a soft spot in my heart for ultimate scale. Not only did it help create a huge portion of it, maybe even over half of it, so it feels very personal to me, but it also just looks really cool in pretty much every spot you look. Country Ball 6001 asks how long it took to make a huge scale subdivision ref. I didn't. The only thing I'm adding to the ref are the flags, which do take quite a while sometimes. I also occasionally make a change when the outdated ref happens to have a mistake somewhere, and in the rarest of cases, only for a few in Mali so far, I've actually had to create a proposed flag myself due to new provinces so recent that they don't even have a proposed flag I can use yet. Country Bowl 6001 also asks how long huge scale subdivisions has taken me so far, and luckily, Minecraft has a handy tool to check how long you played in a single world. Since this was a copy from my other world, it kept the hours from the original series, which was around 300 including AFK time, which I sadly can't factor out, which equates to roughly 319 hours in the subdivisions world specifically so far, which is insane to think about. MC Geography asks what I think an overrated, underrated, and perfectly rated geomapper is. A geomapper who is super underrated is absolutely generic history guy, the absolute go to both the geomapping community and philosophy, and yet he only has like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. A perfectly rated geomapper is Strayan. He blew up recently getting the most viewed short in geomapping history, and he absolutely deserves it as he's worked very hard for a long time. And there are no overrated geomappers, as it is an incredibly underrated community as a whole. To round out this section, Chase Maps in Minecraft asks how long I plan to geomap before I quit, and I don't really plan to quit anytime soon. This is just a fun hobby I have, and planning or scheduling to quit a hobby just doesn't seem right to me. Now finally, let's get into the miscellaneous questions. First, Country Ball 6001 asks if I like eating cheese sandwiches. They also ask what my favorite fast food restaurant is, and it would absolutely have to be Popeyes, no question. Zany Catug asks if I like Plants vs. Zombies or Angry Birds. I think I played both of those games exactly one time each, and they were fun, I guess. Ryan Bromhead 503 asks where the best place to hide a creeper would be. Break into their house. Install a temporary renovation. Observe. R. Aragon asks what games I play other than Minecraft. I've been playing a lot of Hitman recently. Stardew Valley is always a great fallback, and I love American Truck Simulator. The Fifth Dimensional Tesseract asks my thoughts on the weathered lightly wax-cut copper stairs. Thanks for the question. Cringeography asks if I would rather time travel or pause time. However, the question leaves out a few specifics which would actually change my answer. If the pausing time also pauses my ability to age within the paused time environment, I would choose that. If that is not the case, then I would also have to know the model of time travel theory used includes the fact that everything that happened, where I have already appeared in the past, and have done this, not causing any butterfly effect. If that is also not true, then I would choose neither, or choose either and not use them. Kren also asks, if I was the president of a country, which laws would I enact? The situation would probably stress me out so much, I would immediately begin the construction of hydrogen bombs, creating a nuclear war, wiping out Earth, so I don't have to deal with the pressure of creating new laws. To end out this Q&A, Andrew BT12309 asks a very profound and philosophical question, which required a lot of thought from me. What is your favorite emoji and why? And with that being said, what is your favorite emoji to pair with you, other most favorite emoji? Mine favorite, laughing emoji. Most favorite to pair it with, hearts emoji. Total combination, laughing emoji, hearts emoji. After much deliberation, I've come to a conclusion. Thank you for watching.